Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Carrie Pink, obviously. Hoping you are all well today, Sunday, the 3rd of March. It's been a while since I've been on here, talking to you, doing an upload in a more lengthy way. It's tended to be more community posts and little short things that I've put on for personal reasons. Personal reasons that my closest friends on here in my little wee corner are aware of, and also I'm aware of theirs too. But we don't discuss too much on here in my little wee corner, much as we would like, because it's become just completely impossible now to do it in the way we would like, without the backbiting and all the silliness, which is an understatement, but the unnecessary hurt and pain that's going on at the moment. The reason I wanted to do this today, this evening, is just because being observing and watching since the passing of a creator, how does one express a way of demonstrating the right words, if you like? Because we all have different experiences of that particular creator. I'm not going to mention her name not because I'm a coward or anything like that, but because I'm trying to respect her family and friends, as it's early days yet. We grow up, all of us, I think, in the main, being told that we must not disrespect the dead. And to a degree, I agree with that completely. I think most would, 99.9% possibly, agree that you don't disrespect the dead, especially immediately after the passing of that person. I have no idea exactly when they died, and this is not my place to know, and it is not something I'm going to look into. That is not how I work. But I do observe and I do listen. And this particular creator who's passed was well known to many parts of the world, if you like, within, I suppose we call it, the drama, crime, true crime community. And there are people who clearly, from what I've seen, had positive responses, and a lot who've had negative responses. And some, of course, who won't know who she is, because the traffic, if you like, of people on YouTube within this area of YouTube, which is tiny, don't know who they are. The other aspect is that this particular creator would do lives for quite many hours and then immediately delete them. So often people didn't see them. They would be done early hours of the morning, late at night, and due to their time zone, of which is similar to mine, didn't always know they'd done it until one saw the reactions from some other creators the following day. When I first started really looking into this side, if you like, of YouTube, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I just observed, I watched all sorts of different things, into which I do now. But it sort of drew me in because I'm always fascinated by human brain, if you like, the psychology of the human mind and how people react and respond, myself included. And I'm no spring chicken. I've lived a life, like many, full of all sorts of things. So I'm not naive, but it's still, probably less so now, strikes me how you can be surprised, hurt, and I won't use the word abused, but, well, possibly the word abused, but seriously hurt, or see somebody that you've got to know really seriously hurt to such an extent they need medical care. And I will leave it there, for their sake. But as we all say, I digress. We all have different experiences, and that's life. So when this person I heard had passed away the other day, I wasn't sure what to say. I do believe in extending my condolences to family and friends, as I've said, and having had quite a few bereavements myself, one very recently, more conscious if ever at this particular moment of how raw that pain can be. But at the same time, seeing people who have hidden away for quite some time because of that person, due to the distress and hurt that was caused by their actions and words. People who appeared to be nice, that creator appeared to be nice initially. I myself, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, thought, well, they said it how it was. I like people who speak open and honestly, and I will give everyone a chance. I'm no saint, I don't get things right either. But I wanted to give them a chance. And one or two of my friends who I did know then also felt the same way. And initially all was well, but it all turned horribly, horribly wrong. And things that were very private, that we didn't discuss, didn't want out there on the online social media, were put out and ridiculed and caused harm, serious harm to many, and some, as I say, fewer people perhaps, from my experience only, caused harm, distress. So, what do we say? Want to say condolences to the family and friends, but at the same time, it made me think about the legacy of the person who was the online presence rather than the person in real world presence, if you like, if that makes sense. They intermingle, but they're not quite the same. And up until recently, as one has observed, sadly, one didn't delve and do as much doxing and all that sort of thing. Well, I've never done it, don't intend to. It's not why I'm on here. But people who do that more and more now seems to be much, much worse than it ever was. But back then, it was done in such a hideous way that it was, even to me, unbelievable. The cruelty. And trying to help somebody, one particular person who I won't mention, the cruelty and the hurt and the pain that caused them and their family. So you think about, again, going back, I've digressed, sorry, to the legacy that the person who has passed has left behind them on the online presence. The online presence of that person, and as we all know, those cliched words, the internet is forever. The legacy of that is the scary part. And the one thing, I guess, which I'm not saying very well, but I'm trying to do my best, for the people who know me through my little corner here and here and there all over the place is there's a learning process. You realise how to keep private, not to divulge things, and to retreat to a certain extent for your own safety and for others, actually. And if that person who's not very kind, cruel, whatever, leaves that legacy of cruelty behind to some, not all, but some, and there are, I would say, hundreds actually, when I'm talking about this one particular person, if that legacy is left behind, it makes you think, then I must really think about my own legacy if you want to leave something on the internet that 20, 30, 40, 50 years' time, with technology, with our children, our grandchildren, our aunties, our uncles, or whatever, coming in and saying, oh, I didn't realise they did this, I didn't realise they did that. You have to think, what on earth will they make of what you've put on your channel? Whether you have 2 subscribers, friends, or 1 million. It doesn't matter, because it's there, isn't it? It's always there. And that's the one thing one tries to learn. You make mistakes. We all make mistakes, all of us. We trust people, and then we get hurt, or we perhaps say things unwittingly to hurt them. We get things wrong. And the other thing is research. So you watch somebody, you go away and you try and delve and find out what's really going on if you can. It's not always very easy. But the point is, as I say, is the legacy, I think, and I've really thought about it over the last few days, is remembering the legacy, and that's one of the reasons why I picked the name I did for my channel, because it reminds me, before I type, do I put it out there or don't I? And that's what's important, because on social media, maybe not in real life, but on social media, that's what you will be remembered for. There's a poem I'd like to read before I go, and it's by Christina E. Brown. Courage to be me. This courage I wish I had so drastically. Courage to laugh, the feeling to be free. Oh, I wish I had this courage inside of me. Courage to love, courage to trust. To have this courage, word but be a plus. Courage to accept I have courage. This is proven to be the hardest courage that there could be. And this applies to the courage you need online to be you. Do your research, keep safe, and look after yourselves. I hope that all makes sense. Take care. Much love, Carrie Pink.